Okay, so I'm really excited about this call, and I'm really excited about the call that we did yesterday as well, because it's really just breaking down elite, and more so than anything, just sharing how it's possible. And these four ladies, I remember like the moment that they were like, we're locking arms and we're friggin' going for it. And it was at Summit that they were like, we can do this. And I think that they had like little pieces of an elite ribbon or something like that they decided. Maybe they'll talk to you guys about that. But it was really cool to not only see them go for it together, but also be able to celebrate it together. So I still need a picture of all of us together. We were going to like Photoshop some people in, but we figured we shouldn't do that. So I'm super pumped to hear from them. And honestly, like they're all normal humans. They're not unicorns. They did the hard things to make it happen. And I think what's really cool is they're going to break down how each of them did this, and how they each broke it down individually, and how they're all very different human beings. Like, Melissa's a mom of two, Caitlin's a new mommy, Christina's a mom of one little princess, and Lauren's about to get married. Like all in different parts of the world, all very different lifestyles. And I just think that it's so cool that like they all made it happen. So I will let you guys do your thing. And then really quickly, because I didn't say this on the recording part of it, but I really want to recognize all of the diamonds and above for where you guys are ranked in the company. So if you can go into your back office, pull up your goals as to where you're ranked right now in the company and your elite rank. And if you don't know how to do that, message me, because I want to recognize every single person, but also create a leaderboard with that big goal that you have, whether it's 2-star, 5-star, whatever that looks like. And I want to create a board in the treehouse and hold everybody to it and just keep that pinned to the top. Cool. So ladies, you guys can unmute yourselves, do your thing. I'm going to set it to speaker view. And again, thank you so much for your time. Seriously. Always getting negative. Yeah, you guys do your thing, man.
Okay, I think I was going to share first, so I'll jump into that. So I'm super excited to be chatting with you guys, with my like 3 bestest friends ever. Not only was it Summit and Angie always instilling belief, I know, in me and all the ladies, like she gave us the elite ribbon, and that just made it so real for us. We're like, we have this little piece of a ribbon, one day we're gonna have, and so that was huge for me. And then we went to Tony Robbins a month later, or a month before Summit. So that was really the time when we like just really felt in our hearts that we could accomplish this. And just straight up, guys, like if you are, I'm thinking most of you guys are diamond, like hands up if you're around diamond rank. Is that like roughly where everyone is? Well, even if you're not a diamond, like you could make this happen. We have so much time left in the year. I want to look at the clock so I don't talk too long. But the biggest thing is just knowing that you can achieve this. I believe I was around like a 2-star, but I was a really wishy-washy 2-star as of the June or July. And by the end of the year, I was an elite team. The ladies were an elite team. So just know you can totally do this. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit too, but I hit diamond like freakishly fast in my business. And I think by simplifying it, like, and dummy proofing it for my girls, that's really how they were able to hit diamond really quickly too. So I'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing on my list is that we had a vision, like the girls and us, like, we're going to be at Summit. We're going to be in our sparkly dresses, walking on stage. And like, we literally talked about this moment so much. We're like, we're going to be holding hands, and like it ended up happening. We ended up being on the stage, minus Melissa, and we took pictures with her stuff, and like she was there. But just really picture yourself as an elite. And that's all about the Tony Robbins and motivational stuff. Like it legit works. You have to picture yourself as that leader. Also, alongside that, you got to hustle like you're an elite coach before you're an elite coach. Kind of like, I know the girls and I, we hustling like we're millionaires before we're millionaires. You have to have that work ethic before you're going to hit that goal. So that vision was everything for us. So just to quickly simplify, you need 5 people, right? So to me, 2 of those people are like easy peasy. The first one is going to be your spouse or your mom or your best friend or anyone that you can really just crank up them to a diamond. For me, it was my husband. So I always made sure, like from here until the end of the year, hit Success Club, hit your goal, and then extra coaches put under your spouse. And that spouse will grow up to a diamond. You need to be a 2-star, so you need one other runner at that point to hit 2-star. But then once you're 2-star, you get to open up like a Christina 2.0. And the cool thing with that Christina 2.0 is all the Success Club points are still Christina. So I find that 3rd diamond really is easy to pop up because you're not losing Success Club points. You're just ranking up all your coaches in that spot to make that 3rd diamond. So out of the 5, you technically need 3 people that want to go for it, right? One's your husband, one's you 2.0, 3 of them are like runners. So really breaking that down and finding those 3 people. I know for me personally, I've done this since around 1 year into the business. My first year, I kind of dragged everyone. I was like, come on, everybody, let's go, let's go. I would like send my coaches a boot camp graphic for them to post. Like I really held their hand. And then I realized not everyone was matching my efforts. So at about a year in, I realized I was going to work with only my top 20% and my new coaches. And that's something I still follow today. So you're going to notice who are your go-getters, who are the people hitting Success Club, who are your Emerald rock stars, who are the people on team calls. Those are the people you're going to run with. You're not going to drag someone that doesn't want to be there. So for me, I picked my 3 girls, Tamara and Clarissa. I know Tamara's on right now. We're already kind of rocking their biz, and they were one of my diamonds. So I had to find 2 other girls really that were about Emerald rank that wanted to hit diamond, and I gave them all the love and helped them get there throughout the next few months. So that's kind of my breakdown with the 5. You got to find 3 people. So 1, I held them accountable. Those 3 girls that were really going for it, I could tell in my heart they were going for it. They were matching my efforts. I would have weekly one-on-one Zoom chats with them. I would spend extra time on their social media, sharing love with them and just really pumping them up, instilling belief. Most importantly, I helped them figure out why they were a coach and why they wanted to hit this. While I'm on this topic, I wanted to talk about how I hit diamond because it happened in like literally this is the week. Like this is the week the magic happened because it's my daughter's birthday. I had to go back to my teaching job after maternity leave. So I met Angie when my daughter was 8 months old. I was on maternity, and it was really around her birthday where I had to go back to work. It was July. And I decided in that July, from July 1st, I was an Emerald coach. July 29th or 30th or whatever, I was a diamond. So I went from Emerald to diamond in 30 days. And how I did that was literally all discount coaches. And I know the other girls aren't going, I'm all about the discount coaches. Not everyone's like that. But for me, it instilled belief in me that I was a diamond and I hit it and I could do this, and it was momentum. So I know because I hit diamond that way. I was 4 months in, but it was a 30-day decision that I made it happen. I knew because I was able to sign up challengers as discount coaches and really rank up me to diamond really quickly, my girls could do that too. So I really explained to them how simple it is. I wasn't like, diamond's the end all to be all and it's impossible to hit. I was like, dude, you got this. And by being confident and really just showing them that like you can hit diamond, like all you guys that aren't diamond yet, you guys can be diamond like tomorrow if you really just talk to enough people. And that's what it is. We can all be elite coaches. You just have to make your list extra long and talk to extra amount of people. So that's what I did with my girls. I instilled belief. I simplified it. I kept them accountable. Next, and I'm almost done, I promise. I had prizes, right? Like we all love prizes. Angie's always done prizes for me. I know it's not everyone's love language, but I did want to have that option. So for my girls that all hit diamond by, I think it was like November 11th or something, they got a little Victoria's Secret goodie bag, which I literally copied after what Angie did for me. So they got like Victoria's Secret PJs if they were diamond on that day with a champagne bottle in the mail. If they held it the next 6 weeks, which they need to do for you to become a star diamond, on the December 31st, if they're diamond, we ended up doing a diamond retreat at Summit with like photo shoots and all that stuff. And then this next year, I was able to do a diamond retreat in Vancouver. So prizes are everything, right? Like you have to think about it. If you do hit 5-star elite, you're making, I want to throw out like, I'm Canadian, so it's so off the map, but like around $3,500 to $5,000. If you hit your elite goal and you're a 5-star, you hold for that 6 weeks. So for me to spend like $1,000 or even like a few hundred or whatever you want to spend, it's always going to be worth it to motivate your team and help them hit that goal. So I've always invested like at least 20% of my income back into my business from day one, from marketing to prizes to fun. So kind of market, like how are you going to market this? This year, what I'm doing is all my girls get a pair of Nikes, and then we're probably going to do a retreat too. Sorry for my coaches on. I haven't even told you guys that. But that's kind of, I always have ideas and fun. And really, you're not going to buy them the gift until they've hit the goal. So it's kind of an investment into your business. And it's not like you're losing anything. They hit the goal, you're making more money, and now you're getting them a prize. So it's just kind of like getting creative and having fun with it and pumping it up. My last thing is just really just showing them that they're bigger they're bigger than just them and their kitchen table. Like for me, when I started, I had my newborn. I was just on my kitchen table. Half the time I looked, mess of bun with like sweat all over me and a kid crawling on me. And I felt like I was alone. And when I was part of the tribe, Uproar, I knew I was part of something bigger than myself. So you kind of have to instill that in your new coaches. Like it's not just them by themselves in their house. They're part of your tribe. They're part of the team. And as an elite team, you get a ton of perks. One, you get to be in the round table, which is like a huge group for just elite coaches, 5 stars in all the Team Beachbody. You get better support, training. You get a mentor from Beachbody. Like mine's Arnaud, which is Angie's, and he's like my second mentor. I love him so much. So you get so much when you're elite team, and your team benefits from that training and support and community. And obviously you're making more, so you can spoil them more. So there's a lot to it, and just really showing them that they're part of something bigger than themselves. So those are my 6 points. Sorry for rambling. I hope that was helpful, and I'll pass it on to one of the other ladies.
Okay, I'm going to go next because Jet is sitting next to me eating lunch and he's being super quiet, so I have to take advantage. Okay, so before I get into what I have to say, Christina already said this, but I also want to reiterate so that you realize how important this is, and that is getting to 2-star as soon as you can, because you have to remember, before you can go 2-star, you still have to go through that 6-week qualification. So let's say in 1 month you wake up and you are 2-star qualifying. That would be at the beginning of August. You're not an official 2-star until mid-September, which gives you about 2 more months to start 5-star qualification as the very last deadline. So that's like, you would have like 8 to 10 weeks to, from there, build 3 more diamonds. I don't say that to scare you, but that's just a sense of urgency. Like you need to be working on, if you're not 1-star and 2-star yet, get there ASAP, because you still have to wait 6 weeks before you can open your second business center, then get it to diamond, then get 2 more people to diamond, right? So just hustle your tails off. If that's like my biggest piece of advice, that if I could just say that, that would be what I would say, because that's so crucial. And once you hit 2-star, I feel like that's when stuff really starts to get real. You get your first 2-star bonus, things get exciting. You open that second business center, you're earning more team cycle bonus because you have diamond coaches producing under you. You can put your second business center on your weak leg. You start earning more money and take advantage of all of those perks of just being a star diamond leader. So get your butts there as soon as you can, because that will just show you also what's possible. I think Ashley talked about that yesterday, like actually just doing it and going for it when she hit those star diamond ranks just showed her like that she could do it, and it gave her the motivation to keep moving forward and go for 5-star and go for elite. And then another thing that I did, and Christina mentioned this too, like we did the same things because I think the 4 of us really like did this together, but I figured out who was really going for it. So don't try to find, 5 to 10 people on your team who are going for it. Work with those close, like 3 or 4, like the top 20% of your team, the people who are already doing things. If you don't have them, then go recruit and find them, and just work really closely, find out who's in. So I shared my elite vision with my team, and I don't ever want you to feel like you're being selfish by sharing this vision. Your team needs to know what goals you're going for. And if you're in the CEO club, we talked about this. Your team should want to support you and like rally for you, because one day they're going to want their team to do the same thing. And it creates that positive team culture where we all just want each other to win and we all support each other. So I kind of rallied the team. I got with my girls who I knew wanted diamond, and I let them know, hey, while you're going for diamond, you should know, like, my goal is for our team to be an elite team. And I was just very honest with them. I hopped on a Zoom call just like this. There was like 4 of us on, and I just shared real honestly with them what my goals were and what it meant for me, what it meant for the team, and why I wanted to do it. And I also told them the ultimate goal would be for you guys not just to go diamond, but to eventually go star diamond and 2-star and then go elite yourselves, because that would make me so happy, much more happier than just me being elite. So one of the things I took advantage of was incentives. I'm sorry if my son is being loud in the background. Mom life. Let me hand him a little snack. Here, look. Okay, so I took advantage of incentives. I knew that I had this 5-star bonus coming up, and I knew that it would be around, like Christina said, $3,500 to $5,000. And so I knew that I could use a little bit of what I was going to be getting into that bonus to sort of incentivize my team. And so what I did, I couldn't host a retreat at that time because I was pregnant. And by the way, I want to share that too. I was not just pregnant going elite, but I was on bed rest. So I couldn't even work out, couldn't even share my workout journey. And I still made 5-star elite happen. So whatever excuse or story you're telling yourself, if you have an able body and you can work out and exercise and share your journey, you're already one step ahead of me because I was on bed rest. So anyways, So I knew I couldn't do a retreat. I knew I was about to have a baby in a couple months, and a retreat was out of the question for me. So what I did instead was I kind of created my own little diamond bonus. And so I didn't share this with the whole team because I didn't want to put it out there to everybody. I put it out to the ones who I knew were already going to go for it. And I just told them, like, look, guys, this is what I get as a 5-star diamond, and I want to create sort of a diamond bonus for you. So if you hit diamond and you're able to hold and we achieve this goal together, I'm going to get this bonus and I'm going to share it with you. And so I offered them each a $200 diamond bonus. And that's not, like Christina said, you're not losing that money. That money is given to you as an extra bonus. And I knew if I was getting like several $1,000s, I could afford to give each of my girls $200 as a little bonus instead of doing a retreat. So get creative. If you're in a position where you cannot host a retreat right now, or it's just not doable in the next, 6 months or whatever after Elite would be happening, then get creative with your incentives. Some people aren't as motivated by gifts. Some people are motivated by money. Find out what gets your team excited. Find out what motivates them. If their motivation is income for their family, then use an incentive like that. Now, you have to be careful with this. You can't be posting publicly about it because compliance does have some rules about it. And so just make sure that it's just a conversation you're having with your coaches and that you're being up to standard with compliance. So yeah, I incentivize them. And this year I'm doing an incentive too. I'm doing my own retreat because I can this year. So it just depends on where you're at in your business, but actually just taking advantage and being creative, and don't let roadblocks hold you back. Just because I couldn't host a retreat, just because I was pregnant on bed rest, I didn't let those things hold me back and tell myself I couldn't do it. I just figured out a way to make it work anyway with the circumstances that I was in. And then the last thing is just unwavering belief. Like Christina already said, like we talked about Summit and what it would be like to be at Summit as elite coaches all the time. We were always dreaming about what Summit was going to be like, about what the elite party would be like, about what that bonus would feel like getting as like a huge reward for our hard work, how it would feel to be in the round table, to have access to team trainings and corporate mentorship that we didn't have before. You get to work so much closer. Like I'm talking one-on-one calls with corporate when you're an elite coach. So just so many of those perks. And then I also like made my screensaver on my laptop and on my phone elite. And I did like a big collage of Summit stage recognition and like, stop whining. Anyway, I believed and I had the vision in front of me at all times because it was like do or die. And if this is do or die for you, it needs to be something that's in front of your face every single second. Every time you open your phone, don't let yourself forget about it, because when you forget about it and you get comfortable, that's when you start watching Netflix instead of working. Okay, so I'm going to pass the mic, and I'm not sure who. Melissa, maybe?
Go. Yeah. Lauren's really smart. She's like, go while the kids are napping, just in case they're like wake. Okay, so very similar to Caitlin, when we pushed for Elite, I was also pregnant, and it was my second child. And for those that don't know Charlie, he is crazy, beyond belief crazy, and I was like exhausted. And so I literally was like passed out like every single day, like after Charlie went down to bed. So it was like, it was struggle bus for sure. But what for me drove the whole everything. Like I always knew coming into this business, like I can do big things, but I'm one of those people that was super comfortable in my job. I had money. I didn't need this money. I didn't need this. Like I knew I would get it eventually, but I didn't have the sense of urgency until like we talked with the girls. So every single big goal that I've gone for in this business came from a conversation I had with Lauren and Caitlin, and then we added Christina for Elite. But literally every big goal we set together. And for me, it was FOMO. It was legit FOMO. The girls were hustling. They were going for Elite, and there was no fucking way I wasn't hitting Elite too. Like if they were walking on stage without me, which happened because I ended up popping a baby, at that time. But like, if I was there in the crowd, I would have been like bawling my eyes out, not out of pride, but out of like my own, like, no joke, like pissed off, like upset, like that I didn't hit it. So that was for me, was the FOMO. Like, I want to be part of the Cool Kids Club. I want to like, if they're making it happen, what the hell's my excuse? Christina's a mom, Caitlin's prego. Like, I know excuses are just excuses. So for me, it was just like, there's no way I'm going to like watch other people that all started after me actually hit it before me. So I was just like, no, done. And plus they're like my best friends. So I was like, I'm going to do it with them. And then I went for it. And so that just set my mindset that it was like, no matter what. So I spoke to my husband. I was like, Bez, I'm just going to be MIA for the next like 3 months. Sorry, dude. And like, he was on board. Did we fight a lot? Absolutely. But it was like, Angie knows because she has to listen to me vent every time. But it was like, we knew what was going on. So I was very open and upfront about my goals, why I wanted to happen. He's very like, money needs to understand this and need to understand my investments. So I'm like, I'm going to be investing more money, but this is what's going to happen. The bonus is going to cover this. The bonus is going to cover that. So I did whatever it took. I invested and I didn't have any like diamonds, really. Like I built, all the diamonds came from the push, from the hustle. Lauren's going to talk about exactly how we helped groom our coaches to diamond. But for me, it was just like, I poured out what my goal was to my team, and I shared with them that I wanted them to do this with me, that I wanted to do it together. And I shared it with the team. I already kind of knew who was going to be a runner, but I shared it with like the whole team anyway. But then I individually messaged the people that I was like, dude, I really want you to do this with me. And they weren't like tops. We're not a big success, like we never hit crazy success club numbers in my team. So it was like a lot of these girls weren't even hitting success club regularly. So if you have those coaches that are just like, they're showing work, but they're maybe not like always consistent, they can still do that. Like my team pulled it out of like, we pulled it out of our ass. Like Arnaud said it himself, like, where the hell did this even come from? Like, and we literally just did whatever it took. And just like, I didn't get a chance to watch Ashley. I didn't get a chance to watch your call yet. Today's been crazy. But I know what I know some of Ashley's story already. And I did the same thing, and I invested, and I reached out to friends. I reached out to family, and I got them to invest in me and invest in my dream. And that helped me build and create stability within my team, within my coaches' teams. And I was willing to put the money up because I knew at the end of the day, I was still going to get the payout. And it wasn't just like getting too elite, but it was everything that came with it. And the girls talked about that. It was the belief. It was the relationships that were formed, because I was literally talking to my 4 runners every single freaking day. And we built a relationship. And some of them aren't even coaches anymore, but we still talk. And the ones that are coaches, they're lifers. And like that built like a huge foundation for our team. And that's what started getting our team culture going. And that's been the biggest turnover for us. The next year we developed team culture. Another thing that I did was because I had like MIA people on my team, but I saw like, I had people that were like fallen diamonds, but they were pretty much so close to diamond. I was like, I'm going to get this coach to diamond with or without this person that's ignoring me. And so that's where my mind was literally. I was like, who do I build? Like, who do I help build? And so I reached down into my downline, and like, I reached out to people that I was like, I'm going to inspire this chick to go emerald. She doesn't even know who I am other than being in my team group, but I'm going to talk to her. Her name is Rebecca DeChico, and I'm going to get her to go emerald. and she did. She went emerald, and we built this amazing relationship and this belief. And she's now one of the best coaches on my freaking team. She leads my team group with me. Like, our whole team culture grew from this. And it's all from me just digging deep into my downline to be like, who the hell can I motivate to make this happen? Who's going to run with me? And that's how I found like my other lifers, like my besties. Like, we all got tattoos together at Summit. Like, we're crazy. Like, literally, it was my first tattoo too. So I dug really deep, and I was willing to invest. And in terms of investing, like, what it did too is, so I reached out to my close friends. I reached out to my cousins. They're still not regular customers, but those are some massive seeds planted. And I'm still seeing the seeds, like the fruits of my labor now. Like, one of the girls that I got to invest, and literally, like, she lives down the street, and she'd like walk the Shakeology box over to me. And like, because she wasn't drinking it, she was just getting it for me. Like, I was literally and then I did give some programs to people. I was like, maybe if I give them the program, then like they'll do it and they'll get results. Like, and they did it. And so that girlfriend now, she's pregnant with her second child, and she messaged, like, she was talking to me the other day. She's like, okay, so me and her friend Lawrence are like, we keep talking about like, when are we going to do this Beachbody thing? So I planted an immense seed in doing that, because they saw my hustle. They saw how much I believed in it. And so it's like, I was building belief in people around me and in my team without even realizing it. Like, I was just like gunning for elite. I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. But all these things are happening in the background, things that are going to be huge for me and my business. And I've always been a long-term goal kind of person. And so I just knew that this was going to, like, this was it. I was doing it with the girls, and I was going to do whatever it took to make it happen. We held each other super, super accountable. So that helped. But you guys have this amazing group with the Treehouse. Like, if you need someone to hold you accountable, find someone else in the Treehouse, or find someone on your own team to do it with. And the last thing I'll probably say is, and I remembered when I was talking to Arnaud about like, how do I get people to like do this? He's like, Melissa, you need to show them exactly what you're doing. because I was like a self-starter, because Andrew's super new, and like Andrew's pretty much brand new coach when I signed up. We were all like, all of us were like YouTube. We just figured everything out. We didn't wait for anyone to necessarily tell us what to do. Like Angie, like we just figured it all out. And so I had this expectation that my runners are just going to figure this shit out. No. There are people in this business that are going to figure it out. But that doesn't mean that the people that need a little bit more grooming and a little bit more mentoring are weak. No, not at all. Some people just need a bit of coaching because this doesn't come first nature to them. And that was a huge like ego thing for me that I had to get over. And so he was like, you need to show them exactly what you're doing. So I did. I was like, girls, this is what I'm doing. These are these Instagram ads that I'm doing. You're going to do them too. Like, I'm going to help you out. We're going to figure it out. And I'm doing the same thing now with my coaches. We literally went to Summit and I was like, okay, I send them step by step. This is how you promote a post on Instagram. I vetted all through their posts. I vetted their captions. And I'm like literally just giving them, do this. And they get results and they're growing. So those are my like 3 things. Oh, that's helpful. I hear Poppy crying in the background, so I'm distracted.
Well, that was perfect timing then, Melissa. The only non-mom. Okay, so my stuff is going to be legit what we did together to make this happen. But first, for me personally, you guys, I went diamond originally because I was so competitive and it was during a team cup and I wanted to beat someone else. Like literally that is my story. And I went 1 star to attend the 1 star diamond retreat in Ottawa. And I went for elite because all of us were going for it together. And like Melissa said, I had so much FOMO. I'm like, there is no way that they're going to do it and I'm not going to walk on stage with them. So I really didn't have this huge vision of income and success and badassery and title and all of that. I did these things because 1, I was told to, and 2, community. Like that's it, which I'm fine with because it really got me out of my comfort zone and it helped me make these like lifelong friends who are now invited to my wedding. And as a result of this, like it allowed me to see this vision and see this income and see what I was capable of. So I think coming out of Summit, and this actually reminded me because I forgot we went to Tony Robbins and this kind of like changed our whole world together. And then Christina joined the gang and everything. But I came out of Tony Robbins and I think I popped 2 star literally that night we were like going out clubbing at Tony Robbins. Like that night I popped 2 star and we kind of just all rallied together because we're always talking in a group chat and we're like, okay, line drawn. We are going for elite. We're going to make it happen together. And we immediately established this game plan. So I think it was in August that we launched our Girl Boss mentorship. And this changed everything. So all of us, we kind of explained how we rallied our teams. But this is what I did to rally mine. I remade all of Angie's shit, all of her videos, everything. I just did it in my own voice. So I went live and in my team group, I shared our vision. I did a team call on it. I had insane energy. I mean, insane. I email blasted every single person on the team. I one-on-one messaged everyone, literally everyone, because everyone matters and people will come out of the woodwork who you were like, oh my gosh, where did you even come from? You were inactive for 2 years. It happened for me. And then I asked their goals individually. I sent out applications. I was everywhere. I thought I was super annoying, but I just wouldn't shut up about it. And I had insane high energy and I doubled down on my leadership, personal development, John C. Maxwell and Tony Robbins everywhere. And most importantly, which I'm going to get into, I reached out to my corporate mentor, which I'll get into a little bit. But for my team, not everyone was in. And I think this is so important because Caitlin was saying, like, really, we only worked with the willing. And you guys, probably maybe 20 people out of 150, 200 of my coaches even responded to me. But those who did, we vetted them. We're like, okay, fill out this application, declare what your goals are, what sacrifices are you willing to make, and why is this important to you now? Because some of them had kind of already dabbled and been in a million push groups. And I'm like, okay, but why does this matter to you now? What is the difference maker? And, you know, why won't you give up on yourself? And I think that's the most important question. And then to have it like in their office and on their mind. So after that application, yes, this is like a very much step-by-step process. We thought about everything. Then they had to do a declaration form. So I made this really pretty PDF. We each had one branded for our team. after the application, they had to say, like, I, Lauren McHugh, am going for blah, 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 by blah, blah, blah. This is why it's a no matter freaking what for me. And I had them print that out and put it in their office or wherever they're working their business. And I said, okay, girl, once you send that to me, let's run. Print it out, take a picture of it, put it in your office so you see it every freaking day when you start working. So once they did that, we narrowed down our people, we put them in a private Facebook group, and we branded it. And you guys, I think this really had a lot to do with our success. And I think it really did because we branded it to be pretty. And there's something to say about having a really high give a shit factor. So we put them in this group, we branded it. And I think we had like maybe 10 coaches each, and that narrowed down quickly, like, because we removed people if they weren't doing anything. So what we did in that group, we showed up every day. We hosted weekly masterminds. We talked about what's working, a lot like this group, which you already have. So this is amazing that you have these resources. But on that call, every week we did a roll call. So one of us like every week would record it, post it up in the group. So it was really easy. We didn't have to do tons and tons of work. Where are you at with Success Club? How many people did you add to your team? What's working? Those 3 things, really easy, but they had to show up and contribute in some way, shape, or form. If they weren't on the call, they had to comment, and we had to see accountability. So I think we also had accountability spreadsheets, which was super awesome. But I really think what we excelled at was recognition. So we had each of them, like one of their first assignments was like to watch, like, this is diamond. Here's your diamond model. Of course, all of that. But we had them make like a really pretty picture of their own diamond recognition post or 1-star or whatever they were going for. And we put it in a little album saying the diamonds, or I don't even know what it was called, you guys, but it was really cute because they made it and they saw it every time. And again, we had them print it out, put it in their office. So they had it in their workspace, and we said, act as if. So when you walk into your workspace, you're seeing your commitment and you're seeing that you are a freaking diamond coach and you're helping your team hit this amazing goal. So visualization and manifesting was huge for me, and it still is a big part of my morning routine. I have my dream board as my background on my laptop. I listen to Rocky Mountain High, I blast it, and I like literally sit and I just think about what I'm doing, and I get so excited, and I'm just like fuming with energy. And I know that's kind of weird, but it was huge because if you're acting as if and you have so much energy, you're going to instill so much belief in yourself and in turn your team, right? So act as if, and then we had those accountability calls and tons of recognition. Along with recognition, we also had leaderboards. I'll look at the chat if you guys have questions. We did leaderboards of who added to their team every single week. Every week we each, and again, it wasn't just one person. We all like divvied this up. So it wasn't tons of work. So if you find other ladies in this group, do this with them. It doesn't have to be super hard, but we did like their faces on it. We changed up the banner. Again, it was pretty. Like we took time on it because it mattered. Every little detail matters consistently. But honestly, the more energy and the more of your give a shit factor and the more effort you put in a group and the more effort you have on your calls consistently, the more likely you're going to gain that trust and a lot of leadership credibility, the more you're showing up, which I've noticed a lot this year, which is what I stopped doing last year. When shit got hard, I would get down on myself, and guess what? Your team notices. Your team notices when you don't have the energy and your own belief. An 80-day obsession changed my life, and that is how I've had this energy and passion to instill in my team. So your team notices what you're giving off. Whatever vibe you're getting off, that is exactly what they're taking in. So I would recommend, I know Melissa talked about this, but getting very vulnerable with your team. So for me, I just announced our first diamond retreat, and instead of just being like, this is going to happen, I booked the Airbnb. I made it a reality. I'm like, you know what? If I just say this, I can cancel it, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to Venice Beach right before a new leader conference. So I announced that, and guess what I told them? This cannot happen without our Star Diamond bonuses. It's going right back into the team, right? It's booked. So full transparency, and they know that. Lastly, and the biggest game changer was corporate mentorship. For sure. Get on a call. You all have them. Get on a call with your corporate mentor. You have one, even if you drop diamond, like you still got one. Get on their masterminds. It's in the back office under contact us. You'll see like corporate headquarter people, whatever. It's really easy. Use them for accountability. And what they do is they know your numbers. They know your numbers. They can say exactly what you need to do for each category of elite. But honestly, you just need to recruit and find your people because they know all of that. So what they can also, this is what I did for my team. You can do like a rally the team kind of vision call with your leaders. So they'll be like, hey, who are your top contenders? Get 5 of them on or 3 of them on. We'll do a Zoom with them. That helped with my leaders a ton. My mentor basically got on a Zoom with us. She talked about 2-star, and Diamond is kind of just the next milestone. She more so talked about new leader conference, seeing the bigger picture. And they looked at it more so from a business perspective, a business owner, not just like doing the team a favor kind of thing. So it was a bigger vision. But again, the reason I went Diamond in the first place was because of Team Cup and Angie's belief in me. Like, she was always talking to me like every day and instilling belief in me. Just like I think it was Melissa McAllister said, I do those 15-minute check-ins with my coaches too. And I give them feedback on my worksheets, on the worksheets. Yeah, we would talk way too long. We talk way too long on Haytel. But I also went Diamond because I was going to a live event. I was going to Platinum Edge. I know Ashley talked about that yesterday, and it was amazing. And I wanted that recognition, just like you guys want to walk across stage. I wanted to stand up and be like, yeah, I'm a Diamond coach. Like, that was so exciting. So know your girl's love language, or whoever's on your team, because that's really going to help them push them in the right way instead of pushing them away. Because you want to make sure you understand what their love language is. Because if you're rewarding them, like Caitlin was saying, like a Diamond bonus instead of Nikes, that could really help someone with groceries instead of just like looking cute, you know? But I do both. But honestly, though, like instilling belief and accountability and just helping your team realize their potential, like they can step up and do it together. So this was another thing that was huge. I hope I'm not talking too much because I have a lot to say. Okay, so all of your future Diamonds, get them together in a chat or tell them to do it, and like you don't have to even be in it, because then it's just like their own little tree house. And that's what we did. And that's how we became such close friends. And, you know, no one wants to be left out, you guys. FOMO is so real. No one wants to say that they're going for something and then be that one person that doesn't hit it. No, your people are going to show up when they don't feel like it, because the other girls are going to be in there kicking their booty and giving them tough love that they need. You know, so all of us have such different personalities, but that's why we get along so well, because I can be kicked in the ass all the time, like from Melissa, if I'm not doing something, right? So, you know, not everyone's going to listen to you as your mentor. They might listen and resonate with someone else on your team. So that's why these girls have kept me sane. Hopefully vice versa. But like we're here to like vent in a little safe space, but we always end every conversation on a positive note. We don't bother Angie with a ton of stuff, and just having that thread for your leaders and having our maybe their own little masterminds too, to break down numbers and plan out, and you could do this with you guys all in a group or something to plan out a mentorship. I know for us that was huge. And just branding it, making it quality, like quality pictures. We all invested in like a stock picture site to have quality trainings and everything, and having consistency and branding, I really do think helps, and it makes you look credible too. So having our Diamonds in a thread together, having your Diamonds in a thread together separately from you, it'll help them get out of their comfort zones faster. It'll also just like make them feel safer, like they can talk about whatever they want, get to know each other, have friendships form, and it'll push them to go further and establish belief in themselves and each other. But I wanted to mention this because while Christina, Melissa, and Caitlin were talking, I was thinking about this journey of elite, and it's not so much elite and the title, but it's who you become on the journey there. Like, you realize that you can do hard things. And I remember when I like hit 2-star, I like went 3-star, and I just like was breaking down crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like and I get the chills thinking about it, because you realize your potential and that you have the capability, and it's not so hard. You just have to break it down super, super small. And I want to give you a tip of what I did to get my mom to Diamond and hold. So what I did, because I had like, I don't know, I was trying to build her emeralds, and I texted 2 of my best friends in the entire world who I've known from kindergarten. And I wrote out a text, and I think I even like asked Angie and Melissa and Christina and Kate, and I'm like, how does this sound? And I texted it to them, and I literally just poured my heart out. And who else? My cousin too. I poured my heart out to them, and they signed up, I think under my dad, to make my mom like a steady Diamond. And all I did was I would Venmo them like monthly, like $60 to get a 3-day refresh. And I have a ton of them still, but it was worth it. It was so worth it because I'm like, I could do hard things. And like Ashley was saying, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like corporate's not going to be like, how did she get there? Did she Venmo people money to have them buy 3-day refreshes to be active? No one gives a shit. It's if you did it. It's if you took action. So you can do the hard things. And that's basically all I have. But your consistent high energy and vision and passion is what's going to help you push to get your new coaches to believe enough in themselves to even put that goal out there, really. So I'm seeing that in my team group a lot now, and my leaders are also having them go live and talk about drawing a line in the sand, and I'm letting them run and I'm letting them help. So don't be afraid to ask for help from your leaders. You can't do this alone. You can't do this alone. So be vulnerable, ask your team for help, believe in yourself, and have that consistent high energy, and it will just like go all over your team. That's basically all I have.
I'm like beside myself right now. So I'm going to like bring it back to, you guys all mentioned this, but you said like, if your people that you choose to run with, like Melissa, you mentioned this, Lauren, you girls all mentioned this. You don't know what they're going to do later on. When I went elite, these were my people, just so you guys know. It's not like they were like out in the, and they're gone now. They're the elites on the team. So I think that like, these were the OGs. Oh my gosh, I'm like taking notes and I'm like, okay, how am I going to go through all of this? So the word treehouse, I don't know if you guys know this, came from these girls because they had their own little treehouse. And I'd be like, and we had our own chat thread. And I'd be like, are you guys talking in your own fucking treehouse again? And they were like off doing their thing, pushing. But I was like, don't be chatting in your little treehouse. And that's where the word treehouse came from, so you guys know. So they're the OGs. And I don't know if you guys know this. And I don't know if it was when you guys had all gone 5-star elite and you guys did this call, or when you guys were pushing. But I remember I was in Turks and Caicos and I needed someone to take the team call. And you four did the team call. And I was an emotional mess watching it. And I remember Caitlin like messaged me privately during the call. And she's like, Angie, don't cry. You'll be fine. And I'm like watching it. Like I was so proud because you guys had just like all like come into like this leadership role and was like, this is what everyone needs to do. And it was so amazing. And full circle moment, and I was sharing this yesterday with Andre and Ashley, but you guys, all the behind the scenes, you guys don't always see this. So at Summit, you know how I had to walk across the stage for Million Club? A couple of things you guys might not know. I sat by myself for like an hour before I walked because I don't know anybody that was walking. So I felt like a loser. And there was some mean girls that did some mean stuff. So I almost actually got up and left and I cried and I almost went back to the room because they were being really mean. And I can get into that another time. But 2 seconds later, I walk across stage and who do I see but these crazy bitches? No other coach had anyone at the front of that stage. And that's where like, they're like, that's what I told Andre. I'm like, they're like the ride or dies. Like they were like the originals. And I could have gone back to my room and I could have cried and I walked across the stage. And that's more what this business is about, you guys. It's not about like, people will achieve like great stuff or they might not, but they're your friends for your life. Like they literally were genuinely thrilled that I had achieved that. Like not because of anything that I had done for them. It was just our friendship. Like they were just genuinely thrilled. So if for no other reason, like that's why like invest in your people that you truly believe in, like lock arms with them. So I knew that would be really hard to get out. So they're the originals, okay? So we've all been talking about Platinum Edge, and I feel like people are probably like, what is this miraculous event that is life-changing? All that, you guys can definitely go. It's part of Christine Dwyer's event thing, but all that it is, it's a live event. If you go to a live event with your coaches, that's when you connect. That's why we do retreats. That's why we bond with our people. I think it's hilarious that you guys brought up that team cup. So I had done a team cup. She's no longer on the team, so we can say, we can talk about it. But there was this coach that was on my team that just did not mesh with the rest of the team. And she was really mean. And she was really good at Success Club though. And these girls were like, we're taking her out. We are taking her out. So I had done a team cup. So you know how Beachbody does a team cup? I was like, what if I just do one for just my people? And I put like, I think it was like a bunch of I did like 3 Michael Kors purses. So these 3 have Michael Kors purses. And they're like, I'm going to go for it. And Christina, didn't you win one? Didn't you win like first for one?
No, Melissa took me out by 2 points for the Michael Kors purse.
But then the next team cup, you and your team like took it.
Oh yeah, Tamara got number 1 and I got number 2.
So the team cups work. And I just don't know if like you guys have ever thought about doing that, like the coaches that are on the call, but that was something that like created these monsters and the competition, but also like Lauren said, the inclusiveness and doing a team retreat, even though I couldn't afford to do that. And it really wasn't anything that glamorous. I put them up in a hotel and then we went to our cottage on the weekend, but it meant the world to them and it meant the world to me. And so they got to experience that. Cause I just want everybody to have clarity that you're not excluded from any of these things. Like you could do all of it and more. It's not like we're doing anything that's insane. Like Christina did a diamond retreat. I guess you'd call it a retreat at Summit. And she had like a photo shoot and they all sat like around the pool and then they went to brunch, which I was invited to. Me and Lauren went to. It was great. So like you don't need to do anything crazy. Your coaches just want to spend time with you and want to be valued and want, again, FOMO. They want to be included. Like Melissa said, FOMO is fear of missing out. By the way, I saw somebody ask that. So, and then in terms of your corporate mentor, that was huge for me as well. And I know that everybody has a different one, but Arnold, who is my corporate mentor, is in this group. He is like the bee's knees of everything. If you can't find your corporate mentor, message him and just say, I just need to connect with my corporate mentor. Can you connect us? He like made me who I am. Like he created the monster that is Angie because he just stayed on me. Like but the thing is too, he knew I was running. If you stop running, they're not going to call you. So he knew that I was going. What if your mentor is no bueno? Rank advance so that you get a better mentor. And new leader conference. Can you guys talk about that? Because all 4 of you guys have been, right? 10 LC. So that's something that you get to go to if you're 1-star and above. Because I know that did you guys all go together to the same one?
Caitlin went the year before.
Well, Caitlin's a baller.
Yeah. And then the 3 of us went together with a steal.
With a steal. And you guys loved it, right?
Yeah. We were also elite there. So we were like extra VIP and we got to sit at like the front and there was literally only 2 other elite coaches there.
Oh, that's actually a really cool point. So everybody that's going to be elite for the first time this year will get to go to that and also go to leadership as a 5-star diamond elite coach. What do you guys think was better, leadership or NLC? I'm actually curious because I've never been to New Leader Conference. It didn't exist.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I found New Leader Conference was definitely like for 1-star, 2-star, like how to organize, how to support your team. And then leadership in Vegas is like, you're with like the bajillionaires and like learning all their best trips for growing like a huge organization. So they were different, but both so amazing. And the best thing is, I don't know if they're doing it again this year. You actually only have to be 1-star, right?
Mm-hmm.
To go to New Leader Conference. Like guys, like I said in the beginning, 1-star is your spouse or your mom. Like you could be 1-star. Angie, I have a random little tip that like I have to say because I feel like it's just so valuable. But like obviously for 4 years, we don't take days off. You're an entrepreneur, every day, power hour, but there's also seasons of growth. So one thing I wanted to mention is like when you are going through 6-week qual, let alone like the few months leading up to going for elite or going for 2-star, whatever, that's like a season where you're all in. So you need to figure out those sacrifices. And I know the lady said this, but I just feel this like so much my soul that I had to mention it again. Like I had to tell my husband, like, dude, I'm going to be working extra. And there were times when every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m., I was on the phone with my 3 diamonds, holding, making sure everything's good. You need to make that sacrifice. And there's times in your business where you're all in, going hard, late nights, like not sleeping, making the sacrifices. And then once you do hit elite, you're not going to take a time off, but things will calm down again. And then you'll have another season of growth, another huge goal to go for, and go hard. So you need to figure out your own season of growth. The only other amazing thing I want to mention is this is the first year where your 6 weeks doesn't have to be the last. I'm not 100% sure on this, but it used to be like December 31st is the last day to qualify. Now the 6 weeks can happen anytime in the year. So think it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's kind of a crazy time. So it's kind of amazing that they switched that up. So just keep that in mind, the actual dates. Like I'm the worst at numbers and FAQs. So that's why I'm so grateful for all my best friends who are good at that. So be really, really on it because like every PV number counts, every little detail counts, and you really have to be aware of all that stuff.
I think Caitlin knows that more than anybody. She was off by like something like 4 points and it was like the last week. So yeah, back in the day, like as of last year, you had to qualify in the last 6 weeks of the year and you had to have those 2 diamonds. So it was like stress city. And the first time that I went for 5, thank God, I was like, I'm just going to go for 6 in case one of them drops. And Andre was the one that dropped because he didn't have his 100 volume like Ashley talked about yesterday. So he was at 90 and not at 100 being the diamond, and he dropped. I know, again, Andre, like, get it together. I'm just kidding. So, and I remember Caitlin was gunning, when she was gunning for elite, she's like, I'm like 4 points off of some like volume or ATV or something. She's like,
It was for Premier. But yeah.
For Premier?
I was
when you were going for elite.
No, it was the year that I went for Premier, 2015. I was like short by like 4 points, and made it happen on literally New Year's Eve. Like, helped 2 of my coaches get to Success Club to get those 4 points.
That's so on. That wasn't what I was going to say. Like, with New Year's Eve, whenever I was going for elite, I remember Christina had a coach called Janelle who was bad shit crazy. And I called her I'm literally in my New Year's Eve dress in Florida, ready to go out. And I'm like, I can't let this not happen. So I called her and I'm like, you're going to go inactive, which would make Christina have dropped something. And I'm like, what do we need to do? Like, we're going to get you on Shakeology. We're going to do whatever it takes. I'll PayPal you the money. Like, let's make this happen. And we did it. But it was like, it's super stressful, but it's like the best kind of stress, because the high that you feel at the end, like when you pop that friggin' champagne bottle on New Year's Eve, holy shit. Like, it's so worth it. So I used to get I would get so anxious thinking about New Year's Eve, but also so emotional because I'm like, it's going to be amazing. And that would always, like, whenever I'd hear the New Year's Eve, the New Year's song that they always play like at midnight, whenever I'd hear it, I'd be like, oh my God, it's going to happen. And I would be like such a trigger for me. So yeah, does anybody have questions? Because I feel like now I'm just talking, but I went over.
I was just going to say one thing about, because I talked about like reaching down into your downline and stuff. But when we're talking about like retreats and stuff like that, like you'll notice like, with like Angie's Tony Robbins retreat, like it included like non-PS coaches as well. And so I encourage you guys, because I know a lot of people are probably like, well, I'm only going to keep it to my PS coaches. That's all I can afford to do. Like, it's crazy. I can only afford to bring 4 people. If your downline, if your PS coaches are going diamond, that's boosting your volume anyway. So the income's going to increase with that. But 2, that's also like huge motivation for your team, right? If there's a person, like if my PS coach has a coach that's nearly diamond, you think my PS coach is going to get outranked by her like downline? Hell no. Like, when I notice like runners underneath, I like go straight to the PS coach and I'm like, dude, so-and-so is going to outbeat you. Like, you better step up your game. And I'm like, you could be 1 star. Like, you guys can hit diamond together and then you'll be 1 star. Like, it's crazy. So I go deep in my downline. In my retreat, I've announced it twice, but we announced it again today. And it's for like anybody in my team to come. And I'm not, like what the girl said, I'm not worried about it. I'll figure it out. Like, I'm renting a big chalet anyway. Like, sleep on your mattress. So we'll figure it out.
Sounds so Canadian.
I know.
But I was going to say that. Just rent a huge Airbnb. Some of them are insane. Like, Melanie Mitro rents a compound and it's not expensive. Like, it's not because she's Melanie Mitro that she spends more money, but she does one in Orlando and rents like a compound, and they all go. And that's what gets people moving the downline. Like, I know Michelle Beauchamp right now, she has a coach that I was on a call the other day with, like, Melissa gets on this call, Christina gets on this call, and that's what we're talking about, like masterminds with corporate. And I was on that call, and Arnaud right away goes, you have a coach in your downline that's like 4 levels deep. I said, yeah, Sarah. He's like, the fact that you know her name, he's like, not many coaches would know that, or know that, like, who the coach is that's rocking. I'm like, well, you have to though, because that pushes her upline, who pushes your upline. Like, I just think that's how, and yeah, volume, dollars, pushing your coaches do stuff, but also just the momentum of that person's team is huge. So I totally agree with that. Like, you're crazy to not include your non-PS. I feel like it's a very limiting, like Ashley and I touched on this the other day, and none of you guys do this, which I'm eternally grateful for, but the whole idea of like excluding yourself from shit or excluding coaches in your team from shit, you're doing no favors to anybody in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, being cliquey will never serve you in this business. So does anybody else have anything? This was gold. I took so many notes. I'm going to make another graphic. Anything?
Just a random little tidbit, but when your coaches hit diamonds, they get to be in the treehouse too. So you can use that as part of the incentive.
Boom. I always try and drop those little hints in the Team Up Our Coaches group so that they know. Because it is, again, FOMO. But it's just better over here, let's just say. It is. So unless you guys have anything else, I'll let you guys go, but that was perfect. I think between this call and the call yesterday, I'm going to put them in the library of the elite section in the Team Uproar University. And then the entire CEO club will be in the Team Uproar University under the Diamond tab. Cool? I feel like that's like just took it to a whole other level. You guys, I appreciate your time so much. I'm really sorry that I got emotion again. It's that time of the month for me, so I'm just a disaster. I love you guys so much. I really, really appreciate this and sharing all of your knowledge. And I will have the recording up probably like in the next couple of minutes. Bye, dudes. Thank you.